Every time a teacher creates a course in the VLE module of the Kleidos Learning Platform and enrolls some students on it, a learning space is automatically created in the portal. Here is a learning space for a project on the UK coastline. What shapes it, its people and industries, and its sea life. The designated teacher or teachers always own and control each learning space. Only teachers can add and remove pages, web parts and other tools. Enrolled students, including teachers enrolled on courses as students, have read access to each learning space they belong to. As the owning teacher for a learning space, I cannot change these automatically allocated rights. Unlike in an interest space, within a learning space the Change Membership icon doesn't appear in the left-hand navigation bar. I can, however, control member rights to each list, library, blog, discussion or other tool within the learning space in the same way as within an interest space. By default, both students and teachers inherit the same rights for all tools within a learning space as they have for the learning space itself. That is, students have read access and teachers have full control. I have added a blog to my UK Coastline learning space, and I want to grant all students contributor rights to this blog so that they can add posts and comment. I've also added a picture library web part to the index page, and I want to permit students to add photographs and other pictures. Let's start with the blog. A blog is a separate site in its own right, so the Change Space Membership icon appears in the left-hand navigation bar, enabling me to change the membership and permissions for the blog. Two groups are automatically created for Learning Space members, one for students and one for teachers. The best way to control access is to modify the permissions for these groups. Alternatively, I could override group permissions for selected individuals, but patently this would involve more effort. Initially, for each tool within a learning space, the student and teacher groups inherit the automatic permissions set up for the learning space, read access for students and full control for teachers. For this blog, I'm going to change the permissions of the student group to contributor, so all student members of the learning space can contribute to the blog. I'll make the same change to the permissions for the picture library. To set the permissions for a library, I need to click on its title to open it, then from the Settings menu select Picture Library Settings, and then select Permissions for this picture library. As with the blog, I'm going to change the permissions of the student group to contributor. And that's all there is to it. Students, as well as myself and other teacher members of the learning space, will now be able to add posts and comments to the blog and upload photos to the picture library. At any time, I can go back and modify the permissions that the student and teacher groups have for particular tools, and the changes will apply immediately.